So, doing the hashtag Gary Vee challenge. If you don't know, Gary Vaynerchuk goes by Gary Vee for short, is intense content creator. Does a lot of keynote speaking, is very into business, but he's also very into like social media and the garnering of attention. I think that he would say that, his primary sort of the value, the thing that he's extremely good at is finding the places where attention is undervalued, where you can go get it, right? I think his claim to fame was taking his parents' wine business from, a couple million with a small percentage of profit to like 65 million with like a 25% profit margin. And it was all, wine sales on the early internet. And I've been listening to him for a while, right? He's an extremely insightful human being. So he's talking about how what you want to do if you're actually working on the internet, which of course I'm doing, right? Because I've got the Moving Forward podcast, I've got hashtag coffee, I've got my music career that I do every once in a while. Obviously, I'm active in the crypto space and doing things there. Created Shipple, right, which really is about attention and belief and community and this gathering of human minds and attention, right? What I have been completely remiss at, to be honest, is monetizing these things to where I recognize my own value. And I'm using this Gary Vee challenge to basically press myself into an excessive amount of action from which I can learn the discipline, I guess, to be able to do the things that I know we should be doing all the time, right? Greg and I with hashtag coffee talk about this constantly. We could monetize it now and have like to cover our basic expenses on it, but then we just stop thinking about it because it's too easy to talk about the fact that freaking Parnas just did an interview on Rachel Maddow or whatever it is, right? Like it's too easy to keep going on that. So anyway, Gary said, if you're operating on the internet and if you want to operate at scale, you're doing 100 independent posts on the different media platforms every single day. And that's like for a business, right? As a single human being, I can attest. I believe that I am at 95 right now, and I plan on sharing this out to 4 different places so that I can go the fuck to bed. But it's a thing, right? And so, I had really, really good morning. Things were moving really, really quickly. Then, I had the actual podcast, hashtag coffee, which we do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. on this channel on YouTube. That took like an hour and a half. And then, talking to Greg for a little bit about business stuff, kind of filling him in on this whole thing. And then we did a Moving Forward podcast with Seth from the Dividend Report, 2.5 hours, but it was great. It was good. But by like 3:34, my brain's like, but I was committed, right? So like, and that's the thing. It's like music, right? You don't necessarily have to make it good. You just have to make it. And then, the vast majority of the time, people are like, oh my God, that was amazing. But I assure you, the things that I did today, were not. But I wanted to test. Like my whole plan is starting on Monday, I'm going to do this every single day for 30 days. I found that those 30-day challenges keep me the most accountable. They project me into the most activity that I possibly can get into. So that's what I'm doing. And I wanted to see today, like because I've got a lot of ideas about what to post and where to post and how to do it and different things to experiment with. But I wanted to see what it felt like. What it feels like is tired at the end. But a friend of mine who we're going to be doing some work for over at eos.discussions.app, better known as beta.discussions.app right now, until they launch on the 27th. Wanted to know kind of what this would look like. So I wanted to explain this. This is a huge shout out to Jacques. What's up, Jacques? But I figured I would walk you guys through my day. I took a fair amount of notes. So the first idea I had was to do 3 headlines. And I actually did this before getting out of bed. Just went on Google News, which is where I usually get, my first little input. and took screenshots of 3 different news just items, right? And then I did a TikTok on that. So I get the screenshots of that and make a little a video of those 3 images, and then I do a voiceover of like, here's these 3 news items, whatever, right? So that goes up on TikTok. And again, Gary Vaynerchuk says that the organic reach on TikTok is like Facebook 2012. He said that if you're a serious business in the social media space, you should be doing 20 independent, very specific pieces of TikTok creative every day, which is mental, right? So, I'm effectively spamming it at this point, but I've been on it for 4 or 5 days. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing, but I mean, it's interesting. So once you have that TikTok video up, it automatically posts to Instagram, which says that it posts to Twitter, but just posts as a link. So don't do that. But it will post to a Facebook page, right? So I have my Instagram connected to our So Local page, which is the old home of #coffee. And it posts really, really well there. So just that's automatic. So it's like bang, 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 4 before you even know what's going on. And once you're done that TikTok, it actually automatically downloads the video of what you've created on there to your phone. So you can load that up to Facebook and throw that up there. Then I'm also posting on Chirp, which is a newfangled cryptocurrency-based Twitter-like social media platform, which is super fancy. So I'm posting there as well. So by the time that 3 headlines idea was finished, we were about 7 or 8 posts in across all of the platforms. Each one of them, of course, counts. And then, I reacted to something on Twitter about MMT. So I took a screenshot of that. Obviously, that counted. And I put that picture, that comment, or the collection of comments on Facebook, So Local, and LinkedIn, because it was sort of a more, economically or financially, like it just, because you could base it, or like LinkedIn is a little bit more kind of economics and a little bit more serious, whatever. So that's where I posted that one. As you get different flavors on these things, and I'm sure you could be like extremely good at that. I'm not spending a whole lot of time thinking about that, just because I want to really get the sense of what it's going to be like to operate at scale. And then, and this is like at 5:30 in the morning. At 6:30, I run out to the beach, and I do the Facebook Live thing that I've been doing out there. Again, that we're going to move to this channel once we have 1,000 subscribers. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Share this. Get me some frickin' subscribers, because I think the organic reach is better on YouTube, and I think YouTube knows it too. Fuckers. Anyway, so we do that, and there's not really anything I can do out there for that. But when I get home, I download it, I throw it up on YouTube as a replay. Share that out to LinkedIn, share that to Twitter, Facebook. Again, Chirp, that new tokenized version of Twitter, and So Local Pasco, which is our old home for #coffee. So basically, I'm doing like ding, 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 do all those things. Boom. That's another set. And then I made just because I was thinking about it. I made a TikTok about the vulnerability that I've had. The reason why the sunrises have been so good for me. Had a bit of a, not a bit of a, I had a really, really, it's funny, like I'm dissembling even in this moment. Had a really kind of intense bout with depression, which I've never experienced before. Not like this. I think everybody gets down every once in a while. This was like physiologically fucked up, like getting hit by a train depression a few months ago. And it was hard, right? So that's why the sunrise thing, like honestly, it's for me, right? And if you guys come along and you do the sunrises with me, great. But it's for me. But in this radical honesty kind of thing, and Gary Vee actually talks about that as well. I just said fuck it, just posted it up there and then shared it out to a few places as well. And then of course, 10 o'clock in the morning, we do #coffee, same thing, right? So I'm already in this mode where I'm creating relative bits of content. So #coffee goes out. We're doing that on Facebook. I post the replay on YouTube. I throw a little short about what we talked about, right? So while we were doing, this is actually going to be a common theme now, I'm reminding myself in this moment, when we're doing #coffee, I basically am writing down the topics, like what did we talk about, so that I can throw that in the description in YouTube as we go. But the secret there, for me anyway, is that then I can turn around and do a 60-second preview, post view on TikTok. Again, where Gary Vee says that organic reach is intense, right? So I do that. And again, this is the best thing about TikTok, really. once you have that content, it automatically downloads as a video. But it automatically posts to Instagram. It automatically posts to my, our So Local page. That's another couple. And then I could post the video that downloaded to Twitter, post a link to Chirp, and on and on and on. Like I've got that list. So that brings us to about 11 o'clock this morning, which is nuts. I made this little post about halfway through and I did it on LinkedIn as focus started to shift a little bit or get less, because I did hashtag coffee, took a little bit of a break, kind of cleaned up this little bit, and then immediately went into moving forward. And the moving forward thing was all day, so not all day, but like a couple and a half hours. It was a great session, but took a long time. But after that, I noticed that my focus was just off. Right, I'm doing one thing, and then I'm like 5 other places and responding to Twitter, like just really, really random. So I wrote this thing about just do one thing. Like I've got it all written down, like the stuff that I know I want to do today. I've got it all written down. Pick one, do it. Even that was difficult to punch, but you get through it. You do it. And that got us to like 35. 35 posts out of 100. Interestingly enough, like I took this a post that I made on LinkedIn, turned it into a Twitter post, and took that and wrote all of that out in a Medium post, which is like kind of an article-based thing, and then took that to TikTok and kind of read it off and talked about it a little bit, which of course boosts to Instagram and then boosts to So Local. And then you have the video so you can post that other places again. So you see how this, because every single one of those things counts, right? So you're getting that content to start percolating to more and more places. One thing that I stopped doing in December that my buddy Rio has been extremely patient with, I'm reposting in Patreon for our Patreon supporters for the Moving Forward podcast, a video. The goal was to do it every single day. I mean, obviously, I got really, really kind of iffy in November and December. Again, it was not a great time, but we're getting through it. So anyway, I started that back up today, and even more so. So I posted that thing up on Patreon. Then of course we post on Twitter to let everybody know, hey, if you become a Patreon supporter, you can go and get the videos, like Mr. Bob Benson, who I believe is watching right now, which is awesome. But what I didn't used to do was create a TikTok, which I did, and then put it on Facebook, and then put it on Instagram, and then put it on So Local. So the amount of organic reach just from me was probably 5 to 10x what it was a couple months ago, just on that one post. That really needs to be consistent. And this is the thing, like the promoting hashtag coffee or promoting the Moving Forward podcast, quite frankly, we were not doing it. We weren't promoting it. We're just like talking on the internet, right? Doing the Patreon thing, which is awesome. It kind of lets people know, but there was no really concerted push. And that's really what I want to learn doing this crazy thing, right? And trying to figure out if I am actually physically and mentally capable of doing 100 posts a day consistently. So then I had this idea to do some Moving Forward stuff, which I started doing. So I basically wanted to go right back to the very first episode and do like a little 60-second TikTok. Again, most undervalued organic reach on the internet today, right? 60-second TikTok thing on exactly what each episode kind of meant, right? So posting that the first episode, did that on TikTok, again, automatically post to Instagram and So Local, take the video, throw it on Facebook and Twitter, actually re-upload it on YouTube. And I think what I should do down the road, and I think I might do this tomorrow, is have a sequential element on LinkedIn. Because I'm proud of this work. I think that it really would fit, that it really would fit there. But it's weird. I didn't post it on LinkedIn in the moment because I felt a little bit self-conscious about it. And that I should kind of keep that as a clue. Like if I feel self-conscious about it, definitely triple down and go do it. Or ask myself, like, what's the most potential damage that this could do? Because chances are it's not very high. So I did that with episode 0 and episode 1 of the Moving Forward podcast. And of course I'll do episode 2 and whatever tomorrow. So we were actually on the dividend report. I shared that live out on a few different places. Had a cryptocurrency post that I noticed So I posted that on Twitter and Chirp and Facebook. Was going to do it on TikTok, Instagram, and So Local. And just recently, in the last 15 or 20 minutes, said, fuck it. Posted in Schipul Basecamp and got some of the Schipul Basecamp leaders working on corralling EOS accounts and names for beta testers, because we're going to be taking those over to the beta.discussions.app. Throughout the 30-day challenge that I'm doing, I'm going to be promoting what they're doing. They're basically building a framework so that you can have tokenized. It's like a tokenized community platform, right? All the things that I really needed as a guy running a cryptocurrency rollout in Facebook, which is kind of where we were at the time. They're taking a lot of our experience and a lot of the experience that they have from their working partners and building the thing that those people need, and that I needed, frankly, like the actual. It's awesome what they're doing. So I'm going to be promoting them as a thing that we're doing throughout the course of that challenge. So I got a few people. I posted it again in Schipul and got a few people working on that. So there was I actually commented on a Gary Vee post. Again, like as the day wears on, I'm getting more and more distracted and getting less and less efficient, quite frankly. But I commented on it and I was like, wait a minute, I could lift that comment out, share this, make it a post. Thought it was very, very clever. There was a healthcare tweet that that's basically just odds and ends that I started doing. And some of them I shared elsewhere, some of them I didn't. So like there's a lot of situations where, not a lot, but I think more than any other, there's a lot of things on Twitter that didn't get anywhere else, even though the goal is to sort of make sure that you throw those things out. By about 8 o'clock, I had a couple of glasses of wine and was like, fuck this shit, I want to play my guitar for a minute. So I did. So I recorded my song Solace, threw that up live on YouTube, which then ported to Twitter, Facebook, my Facebook music page, which I definitely want to incorporate more into this whole thing, because it's actually where I have the most followers. It is sort of a career I had for some time. So there you go. And then I put shorts on TikTok and then Instagram, So Local, that kind of thing. And then threw a link up on Chirp because why not? And then there was a few other various Twitter things, including a Whoopi Goldberg thing, where Whoopi Goldberg was basically pressing Bloomberg on why we shouldn't own our own data, a la Andrew Yang. And it's just Whoopi Goldberg, man, Yang all day. It's freaking awesome. Anyway, which brings us to this. This is my last video of the day. I have to get up at 5. I am still not good at getting up early in the morning, but and do it anyway. Lucky for me, as opposed to most, like I just get to take a dog for a walk and go to the sunset. Rise, sorry. So, yeah, my difficulties are everyone else's like happy Sunday. So I have to keep that in mind. And they're not really that difficult anyway. So yeah, this is day one. And yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I'd have to go back and check through all the numbers and stuff. But I think this is 96 or 95. Did I say? And then we'll share this out to a few places and get us to 100, and then go to bed. So that's it. So Jacques explicitly asked for kind of a rundown of this, so I wanted to make this for him. Bob, thank you for being here, just because you're awesome, and it was nice to know that like somebody was here. Just paying attention in the void. I don't know if you've been to the church recently, but it's interesting. I wish you could have seen Rio's face. Actually, you might be able to see Rio's face on the if you look on the dividend report, who had a video of the podcast we did today. I told him about the Church of Reason and the secular sermon, and Rio seemed dead, which is exciting to me. There's something deep and needed in this that I'm excited about. And if you're just randomly watching this Sunday, streaming, and it was actually right at the end, even though the whole thing is awesome, Bob. Like we had a great like 2.5 hour, 2 hour conversation, whatever it was. Yeah, this Sunday, 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be streaming live a secular sermon from a digital space that we created in Minecraft, which sounds goofy when I say it, but isn't. It's just not. It worked out. There's a lot of intention, and it all started because Mr. Bob Edson, who is watching this live right now, decided to go in there and make a shrine to gratitude. And things emerged and iterated and evolved from that in ways that I'm really excited about and really grateful for, quite frankly. And on that note,